Hello, everyone, and welcome to Abundant Living with Intermittent Fasting and Faith. My name is Denise, and thank you for visiting my vlog again. Today, I thought I'd talk a little bit about what brought me to intermittent fasting and the resources that I have to share with you. So, I started intermittent fasting back in January. And I want to take a little bit of a step back and talk to you about why abundant living. So back in 1993, I was truly, truly blessed to go to World Youth Day. And at the closing mass, Pope John Paul II, or Saint Pope John Paul II, talked about in his homily about John 10:10. And he was talking to all the young people there and said, our Lord came that you would have life and have it abundantly. And that had such an impression on my young self then. And it has been my, mantra that our Lord has come to give us life and give it abundantly to us. And that brought about, that's such a joyful image that our Lord is there for us and promises us that he desires us for us amid the everyday dealings, the sadness, the crosses, and the things that we deal with every day, because every day doesn't feel so abundant sometimes, right? And this was in stark contrast to what I had experienced in my life. I had the blessing of being raised Catholic and in going to Catholic school. And it was a true blessing. I had nuns, lots and lots of nuns who raised me in the faith, because our family life wasn't so great. Our family life wasn't so strong in the faith, but I do believe that that was a great gift that our Lord had given me. And so here I am growing up and experiencing a good bit of trauma in my young years. And then in that trauma, always feeling unaccepted because of what I look like in my family structure. So, I sort of struggled with weight. I was a little bit of a bigger kid. By today's standards, I would not be considered a bigger kid. But then I really started packing on the weight in college. And I think, once I graduated from college, I was around 180 and above. I don't think I ever saw below that, and then I said my highest weight went up to 250 pounds when I was in my early 30s. So I experienced my biggest life trauma when my sister passed away last summer. And I made a promise to her at that time that I would live this abundant life, that I would embrace that promise given to us by our Lord. And, and I told our Lord, I need your grace, I need your light, I need your love, because I was, again, back up to one of my highest weights of recent years in the last 5 years. And I felt awful. I just felt awful. And I still was struggling with, what does that mean, Lord? An abundant life. So here I was, heavy, not happy, mourning the terrible loss of my sister, and there is just 3 of us. My mother went into a nursing home a month later. So come January of 2020, I had actually found this book through, it could have been a Catholic women's group, maybe it was just a lifestyle women's Facebook group. I can't remember, but someone had mentioned Delay, Don't Deny, a book by Jen Stevens. And then she has recently come out with a book called Fast, Feast, Repeat. And I read the book the day before we went on vacation. It was probably January the 3rd or 4th. And then I have started my journey then. It has been the answer to just so much of my trauma, so much of my weight issues that surrounded around that trauma, so much of my healing of addiction and obsession with food, but also to living in abundance. I feel really good. So, and I want to share that with everyone that struggles with weight, and women who don't feel that promise in their lives that he desires for us to live abundantly and fully what he calls you, me as an individual to be. We all have those different callings. And to live in freedom. So, when I started my first week, true week, I went on vacation. I wasn't living a perfect, there's no perfect. How's that? I wasn't living the best described way to fast as done in Delay Don't Deny, and then again in Fast Feast Repeat. But then when I got home, I did. So what I decided was I was going to do 8 hours of what's called an eating window, and then I was going to fast the rest of the time. So that involved me delaying my breakfast, maybe until around, I think maybe initially I could actually look up these numbers, around 10 or 10:30, and then I would eat for 8 hours, and I would close that eating window after I finished dinner. And during that time, I did not modify anything of how I was eating. And I have to say, within a few days, I was feeling just an absolute holy euphoria. And the reason I describe it as holy is because it was a gift of medicine, of a balm for me, to heal this issue I've had with food. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and so I had, out of control desires for sugar, and this has been the absolute answer to that. And it helped me to be in control for the first time in my life of eating, but even more that I felt so good, like amazingly good. And I did that eating window for quite a long time. I can't give you the exact amount of, I can, but I'd have to look it up. The time that I stuck with that window of time. So I ate for 18, and 8 divided by 8 minus 24 is 16. So there are 24 hours in a day. I would eat for 8 and fast for 16. And then I changed that to 6 hours a day that I would eat around, I wanted to be there for my family, so I would start eating around 1, and then I would finish that up 6 hours later, which is I think 7 o'clock p.m. And that's been my sort of the way I've been going since then. 6 hours of eating, and then I'd eat dinner, and I was done. And that has been the source for, at least for the first 3 months. I took off around 20 some pounds, maybe close to 20. And now, as of this morning, I'm thrilled to say I'm down 42 pounds. And it's just such a joy. So I encourage you, there are several things that I encourage for you, is to read the book Fast Feast Repeat by Gin, Gin Stevens, and I'll put the link in the comment section below. I have no relationship with her whatsoever. She doesn't know that I probably exist. I'm a member of one of her Facebook groups, which is called Delay Don't Deny. You can search her and join the group. Even today, you can join. You don't have to have read the book. But, and you can, I think on Audible, it might be a free download. So you'll have to check that out. I know it is definitely for her first book, Delay Don't Deny. It's just been a huge blessing. So I wish you all just so much success in this, and I encourage you to start when you're ready. For me, I heard about the book, and then I ignored it for a couple of months, and then I finally did it. But for those of you who are ready, begin tomorrow. Start your breakfast a little bit later, and even if you go 10 hours of eating, just with the idea that you're going to eat dinner and then you're going to be done until you start the next day. And I think that is such a mental game. We're like, oh my gosh, we can't eat. But once we do it, I encourage people to do it for 7 days. Then I encourage people to do it for 21 days. And then I encourage people to do it for 3 months and see where you're at the end of 3 months. If you have a lot of insulin resistance, it's going to take you some time to actually lose weight, but I promise you, you'll be losing inches. The other thing you have to do before you start is to measure and take pictures. So put on a tank, put on a pair of leggings or a pair of shorts, and take pictures from the front, pictures from the side, and also the back, which I did not do. And measure. Measure around your shoulders, measure around your bra line, measure around your waist and your hips. And you can measure all sorts. You can measure thighs, whatever, so that you have these accurate measurements, because sometimes it takes a while for you to lose weight, and you do hit supposed stalls on the scale. Don't use your scale as a source of information. Don't use it as the end all and be all of your success, because it may take more time for you. Some people will lose 10 pounds in a very short period of time, or 5 pounds. God bless them. That wasn't for me the truth. Although I did feel better. So there was no way, within 3 days, I knew I was never turning back. And if you struggle a little bit more, take it slowly. Take it where you're eating for 10 hours a day and you're fasting for 14 hours a day. That will heal you. That will heal your body. And then slowly move forward from there. Some people will never do more than 16 and 8, right? So and the thing is be very kind for yourself. If you've been dealing with this for a very long time, that was the case for me. I'm way above 40. So for me, I had to take time to heal. And for me, it was about that healing of my body and my soul and my mind, to be able to, more than for me to have significant weight loss. So, although it's been awesome. So I encourage you all today to check out those resources that I've shared with you. There's also something called the Diabetes Code by Jason Fung. I'll link that below. And the Obesity Code by Jason Fung. Both excellent books. So if you are on the obese side, but they're much more, I think, heady to read. Jen Stevens is a school teacher. She's easy to read for everybody. So, and she gives you all the science in a very understandable way. Okay, dear sisters in faith, I encourage you all to enjoy this life that God has given us, that He wants us to live in abundance and with joy. And I encourage you to begin your fasting journey or continue your fasting journey. Give it all to Him, and may we live this abundant life together. God bless.